and unusual things start to happen as the normal rhythms of Earth are disrupted. When you're seeing this eclipse, you ought to observe this. Eclipses have a special power. They move people to feel a kind of reverence for the beauty of our universe. Their power is not only to unify us on Earth, but to further science and discovery.
This is what total solar eclipse will look like on April 8th.
They said if the eclipse happened and y'all start to see demons, keep walking. If you think you see somebody with 10 eyes and 3 heads, no you don't. And rule number 1, the most important of them all, do not trust the government, okay? Do not trust the government. If we can't trust them now, do y'all really think we can trust them when all hell's break loose?
The word eclipse is actually Greek, and it comes from the word abandonment because the ancient Greeks believed that when eclipses happened, the gods were angry at them and the sun, Helios, was abandoning them. Here's a snippet from a poem by the Greek poet Archilochus. Zeus, the father of the Olympic gods, turned midday into night, hiding the light of the dazzling sun. An overwhelming dread fell upon men. But as we all know, the ancient Greeks were very advanced when it came to astronomy, and their eventual discoveries about eclipses laid the groundwork for the advancement of the mathematics and science behind eclipses and other astronomical events. Sometime around 450 BCE, the Greek philosopher Anaxagoras noticed that eclipses only happened around the new moon, and so he accurately reasoned that they were caused by the moon passing in front of the sun and blocking out its light. And in the 6th century BCE, another Greek philosopher, Thales, accurately predicted an eclipse that happened on May 28th of the year 525 BCE. This eclipse in particular ended up being the catalyst for peace talks between the Lydians and the Medes, who were at war. So
incredible! Don't forget to look at the shadows during the April 8th, 2024 solar eclipse. It's going to be one of the most mesmerizing and amazing things you've ever seen in your life. Most people aren't talking about this, they're going to be looking up at the sky, but you watch the video in advance and you're going to watch the shadows.
Check this out, y'all. I was watching this video yesterday about a planet called Nibiru, and that it's in our solar system. It always has been. It's also associated with the Anunnaki, which I believe it's their planet. And at this moment in our time, it is so close to Earth that we're able to see it. So it made me remember back in 2021 and in 2020 where I took photos of the sun because they just didn't seem right to me. They looked odd. It looked weird. So here's one. This was in Utah, northern Utah, August of 2021. I mean, look at that. It looks like there's a planet behind the sun. And then these are from South Carolina in 2020 of June. And again, it just looked weird. So let me know what you think. I mean, there's a lot of things, a lot of people are talking about April 8th, this eclipse happening, but maybe it's not.
We've heard too much from American Christian people about how this eclipse is supposedly some prophetic sign of the end of the world or the coming of Jesus. And that's one of the big reasons most people in the culture have tuned out the church and they don't pay attention anymore, because fringe groups have turned solar events into failed predictions for far too long. And here's what's astounding to me. There is a total solar eclipse somewhere in the world every 18 months. But Americans are arrogant enough to think it isn't significant, or it's not prophetic, or it doesn't matter to God unless it happens over American soil. I didn't see any American Christians posting about the one that happened 18 months ago in other countries, or they probably won't even know the next one that happens 18 months from now in another country. And to think this eclipse is prophetic and you didn't even know about the other ones that happened 18 months, to think that this one really matters is the height of American arrogance.
If you've not been able to hear about this yet, you absolutely need to, because CERN is about to fire up this machine during the solar eclipse to look for invisible matter. So CERN is about to officially test the world's most powerful particle accelerator during the April solar eclipse to search for invisible matter that secretly powers our universe. Hello everyone at CERN, let's not do this. So the world's largest and most powerful particle accelerator is set to smash protons together on April the 8th to search for invisible particles secretly powering our universe. So theories have suggested that there are 17 different particle groups, and CERN confirmed the existence of one of them using the machine back in 2012. So now the team has officially restarted that machine with hopes of unraveling more mysteries of the universe, specifically dark matter. This sounds like a brilliant idea. Scientists began tests by sending billions of protons around the machine's ring of superconducting magnets to boost their energy and ensure the $4 billion machine was in working condition. And now during the solar eclipse, CERN is going to shoot them down a 17-mile long tunnel at nearly the speed of light to recreate conditions a second after the Big Bang. I know you're not going to want to forget about this, so I will give you an update as soon as all this goes down, so make sure you add me and come back.
NASA has unveiled plans to launch 3 scientifically oriented rockets into the moon's shadow on Monday, April the 8th, coinciding with a partial solar eclipse spanning North America. During this celestial event, which will feature a total solar eclipse along a 115-mile wide path across parts of Mexico, 15 U.S. states and Canada, and a partial eclipse throughout the Americas, there will be a noticeable decrease in sunlight. NASA's initiative, dubbed Atmospheric Perturbations Around the Eclipse's Path, also known as APEP, aims to explore the effects of this decrease in sunlight and temperature on the Earth's upper atmosphere.
According to the Vedic cosmology, Rahu is a node in the outer circle of a flat disk plane, and the celestial bodies move above this, spinning above in a torus field. Now, Rahu would be the node where the sun crosses in front of this node, and it's in alignment with the central sun, which is a black hole sun, or what they call the magnetic mountain. So, what's being projected above us is light hitting the different frequencies above us. So, for example, if you shine light on the frequency of the X-ray spectrum, you will see what looks like an X-ray of something, right? So you've got the sun and the moon, which represent X-ray and visible light spectrum. And these two are polarity constructs. They're polarized. And as the sun aligns with this node, it is not necessarily the moon that's causing an eclipse in this model, because, as I said, when they're aligned, when the node and the sun and the central sun are aligned, it cancels out the sun. In this way, it would be like Rahu eating the sun, as they say. And it would cause us to see the black hole sun. So, you have to let go of your belief systems in order to wrap your mind around this. But it would explain why they're sending rockets into an eclipse when you can't send a rocket into an eclipse. It's a shadow. And why they're firing up CERN at the same exact time. Because it's possible they're trying to send rockets through a portal in the sun.
Were you guys aware that the National Guard is supposed to be coming out for the solar eclipse in addition to all those schools closing? Remember that video I went viral that talked about that? Man, check this out.
This is getting wild. The National Guard is going to be here now for the solar eclipse. This article today was released in an Oklahoma newspaper saying that they will have guardsmen present in McCurtain County for the solar eclipse. But things get much weirder. The 22 members of an elite chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear unit will be housed in Broken Bow, in addition to 110 to 150 Oklahoma Highway Patrol troopers. They're also urging residents to stock up with 1 to 2 weeks of food in advance of the event and to have full fuel tanks. They're also saying that it's likely that communication facilities could be overloaded, possibly making it difficult to make cell phone calls. Similar warnings are going out in different states, including Noblesville Fire Department in Texas. And apparently schools are canceled this day, and people are going on Twitter writing statements like this: something strange is definitely happening. My kids in 3 different schools all got notices that school will be closed that day.
But the amazing thing is people don't know. The solar eclipse is happening on the very same day as the original plagues of the 3 days of darkness began.
No!
Yes.
Okay,
it's on the very same day.
This one we're going to have.
April 8th is the very day of the 3 days of darkness plagues began in the original Exodus. Yes.
Unbelievable. Is this a warning then? It's going. We got the Nineveh and the Jonah towns going through, but I mean, what kind of warning is this?
Great question. Here's the thing. In Genesis 1:14, God declared the sun and the moon were for signs.
Right.
The only signs they can give is eclipses. All right. And the nice thing about eclipses, no false prophet can manipulate it.
No.
Okay. And they speak to every language, tribe, nation, and tongue.
Yep.
They don't need to be translated.
Nope.
Solar eclipse means judgment is coming upon a nation. Lunar eclipse refers to judgment coming upon Israel.
Okay.
Now, get a load of this. There has only been, since we become a nation in 1776, there has only been 8 total solar eclipses that have completely crossed the United States. I'm not talking about one that just clips California or Florida. I'm talking that traverses the whole United States horizontally or vertically. There's only been 8 since we became a nation.
Wow.
And guess when they occurred? 2 of them occurred during the Revolutionary War. 3 of them occurred during the Civil War. 2 of them occurred during the Vietnam War. Are we getting a hint of what this means?
Oh, no.
And so now in the 2000s, there was 2017, and now this one in 2024, and it's like a bullseye. It forms an X right over the United States. Now here's what's amazing. Of those 8, only one, which was the one 7 years ago, it only crossed the United States and no other country. The other ones crossed Mexico and Canada and US or something like that. But the United States was singled out with
Just
the one
one.
7 years ago.
Yes.
Once.
Wow.
And now we have April 8th on Nissan 1. That Nissan 1 is the same day the glory of God fell. It's the same day at the inauguration ceremony of Moses' tabernacle. Okay, this is when this eclipse crosses these 2 places in the United States. And it's definitely God wants to communicate with us. People have to understand, God wants to communicate. These eclipses are communications directly from God warning us of what's coming.
It's times like this I wish I were a religious man.
It's all over, people. We don't have a prayer.